Hi, I'm Harriet Zaidman. I'm a writer for young people in Winnipeg. In 1919, there was a very big event that happened in Winnipeg. It was called the General Strike. Oh, people were very poor in those days. A lot of immigrants in the city, people were very poor, and they all went on strike. 35,000 people. There were only 175,000 people in the city. They wanted better wages and working conditions. Children, of course, were seriously affected because their parents went on strike. They didn't have much money to begin with. And this is a story of one family and what happened. The first people who went on strike were women who worked as telephone operators. And in this story, Fanny is a telephone operator. She's an older sister to two kids named Jack and Nellie. Fanny spoke to one of the saleswomen at the Eaton's department store, the largest department store in Canada, who were walking past to go to work into the store. The woman stopped and turned around and approached the line. "I'm with you," she said. "I've had it. The managers tell us not to eat a lot, so we'll be as skinny as possible. They want our waists to be 18 inches around." "They think starving women are attractive?" one woman asked. "I suppose," the Eaton's worker said. "Maybe that's why they pay us starvation wages." She fitted her hands around her slim waist. "I have to cinch the laces on my corset tight so I can appear thin for the customers. I can hardly breathe when I'm behind the counter all day." She slipped her arms in with those of the other strikers. "If they fire me," she laughed, "I'll be poor, but at least I'll be able to breathe." Her new sisters clapped and cheered for her. The company declared its support for the Citizens Committee of 1,000. Those were all the businesses that opposed the strike, and fired any of the workers who joined the strike. Eaton's also announced it would send the company's famous horse-drawn rigs to make deliveries around the city. They would carry on business as usual. Strikers learned that Eaton's would be delivering orders to the households in the west end of the city. They planned a blockade. That's when Fanny proposed an idea to Mama. "Come with me, Mama. You're part of the strike too," she said. "Ich kann nicht. I can't," Mama said, shaking her head. "Es ist so weit. It's so far away." Mama speaks Yiddish. "Mama," Fanny said, "that's an excuse. It's only a 30-minute walk." Finally, Fanny persuaded her. Mama fussed over her hair, combing it and braiding it a few times so she would look presentable. She protested that her clothes looked like rags, but Fanny assured her that everyone else's were threadbare too. When they came home later that day, Nellie was astonished to see how her mother acted. She was like a different person, as if she didn't have a care in the world. Mama hummed to herself while she prepared dinner, even though it was only a can of peas cooked into a soup with a parsnip. Mama ignored Nellie's repeated questions about what had happened until they sat down to dinner, and at last Fanny filled her in. Mama, Fanny, and a few hundred other women had converged at Logan Avenue and McPhillips Street to stop Eaton's from making deliveries from its warehouse. "Wasn't it dangerous when the horses came close?" Nellie asked. "Yes, but we all linked arms," Fanny said. She described the way the women began shouting and screaming, frightening the animals. The drivers yelled at the women, "Move away!" and swung their fists in the air. But we women, German, Irish, Italian, Polish, Jewish, Ukrainian, and British, all of us refused to move. We swung our fists right back. You should have seen Mama. "Tell them what you shouted at the drivers, Mama," Fanny said, a smile curling on her lips. Mama quickly began studying her soup. "Ich hab gar nicht gesagt," she said. I didn't say anything." "Mama," Fanny chided, elbowing her playfully. "Tell them." Mama clucked her tongue. "I said, wachsen sollst du wie a Zwiebel mit dem Kopf in der Erde. May you grow like an onion with your head in the ground." She chuckled. "They don't understand Yiddish, but they understood my fist." She raised her fist and showed her family how she shook it. "Mama," Nellie exclaimed. She had never heard her mother say a nasty word, and certainly never raise her fist in anger. "It wasn't only me," Mama said, feigning innocence. "Mary Danchuk next door came too, and she told them in Ukrainian, 'Aber tebe kachka kopnula,' may a duck kick you." And she swung both fists. Nellie and Jack burst out laughing. Their neighbor was a quiet woman who liked to garden. They couldn't imagine her on a picket line, cursing. "Mrs. Minarski swore at them in Polish," Fanny said. Vipik satianum, stuff yourself with hay. Tata and Mama laughed, and the drivers turned the horses around. Fanny went on. The mighty Eaton's department store was defeated by a bunch of women. They all laughed harder. Mama talked about the women who had been friendly to her. Nellie made Mama show her again how she had raised her fist. I hope you read City on Strike, and I hope you enjoy it.